Good evening, everyone. It's October 23rd, 2023, and pretty interesting session we had. All indices gapped down after Friday's high volume selling, and I was actually, I don't really like when that happens. The reason being is that Mondays tend to be rotational, and based on some statistic stuff, I end up being short during the push upwards, knowing that the rally was just bullshit covering for lack of any sort of formal terminology. And I was looking for a crap out into the close, and that's what we got. If we just throw this on here, get rid of all the indicators and this and that, you can see we gapped down, sold off a little bit, got a huge bid, and then just this grindy move upwards. Had that one last sort of buying climax, and then this is pretty textbook looking sell off. Secondary test, kind of last point of supply sort of thing, and then crapped out into the close, closing once again below last week's low and last week's close. So now what I'm looking for is to see if Globex can give me any sort of continuation. Can we trade under today's RTH? Can we trade under the value area low? That's 42 quarter. We're trading about 4 points away from there right now on the ES. So I want to see how far down the shorts can make some progress today. I want to see us open somewhere below today's close. So whatever that is, 420.44. If we were able to open below there, kind of open below value area low while not gapping down, to me that's kind of the perfect setup where, unlike today where we get excessively short from the gap down, then you get this sort of annoying covering happening. Instead, you open within yesterday's range, but clearly a bias to the downside, and then you can look for a short to enter. But anyway, S&P here, low volume green session. Q's low volume green session. Just want to fit all that on there. There we go. Low volume bid session. Dow, not the most volume. Still hasn't ran these lows, interestingly enough. I think that's going to happen just yet. And the Russell, unable to reclaim what was the low of the year at 167.46. I think that ended up being the high of the day to the tick. Yes, to the tick. So that's how these indices were looking. It was interesting that intraday, if we were to just pull up some of these charts here, here is the Dow Jones. And you can see that for the most part, we traded below or around Friday's low. And similar on the Rusty, we're trading mostly around that low. And here's the S&P. We got further up above there, and I think that was mostly led by the QQQ, the NASDAQ. You can see we got far above last week's low. We got quite a ways above there, and we end up closing above last week's low. So for whatever reason, the NASDAQ was the leader today. The Dow and the Russell were significantly lagging, and to me that was also helping that thesis of a short cover being in play and for this rally to be unsustainable. So for tomorrow, here's what I want to see. I would like to see the overnight session. Let's pull that up right now. Get rid of all the indicators again. I would like to see this overnight session start to trade underneath value area low. So that blue number there, 42.25. And on the NASDAQ, way down here at 662s. That's a ways away on the NASDAQ. It had a absolutely massive, I think 320 point range or something today. 340 points. That's a gigantic range. So I'd like to see us trade below value area low, get sort of that downward momentum going, and open below today's close or the value area low or something like that. So in terms of trading this, let's go to here. I know this is a fat zone, but there's a weekly low in there. There's a daily close in here. There's all sorts of crap in here. Last week's low, last week's close. So to me, if we lose this area, this is the short zone. If we lose that, I'm looking for us to lose yesterday's low and get into kind of 415-ish. If we scroll back here, there you go. You can see it's a pretty clear level. 415. Probably get some bids around there. I'm not too sure. To the upside, this is going to be the main indicator to me if we can continue to move up or not. If we're able to reclaim this kind of 422.5 area, I doubt this spot holds for a third time. I'd imagine these highs break, and we get into settlement highs. And this, not last week's low, but the week prior to that, that Monday low of the week that we had. So that's what I'm going to be looking for, and I imagine we get some selling there. That would seem reasonable to me. Today being whatever a $5.50 move, I think. Oh, sorry, $6.50 move. Getting up to there would be about $6. So yeah, somewhere around there, I would expect some kind of highs. Nasdaq not overly dissimilar. There are some levels here that I'm interested in. If we break these to the upside, I imagine we are unable to hold all this. We break settlement highs and we start trading up towards kind of this patch of inventory around 362 to 363. If instead we're able to break last week's low, the weekly close, all this sort of stuff, I think we can end up breaking these lows as well. Sorry, this should be red. And I would look for us to break yesterday's low as well. So something like that. There we are. And perhaps find some bids around the 349-ish area. And if we scroll back, there we go. That was an area where we auctioned around on that Wednesday session. Thursday morning, we ramped up off of it. So that's how I'm looking at it. I am short biased. Once again. Again, to me, today was just this short cover bullshit, and I'm looking for lower prices. If we reclaim that kind of 422 and 30 area, I think we're going to head higher. That's about it. I think we have some earnings after the bell. We got Flash PMI 945, Richmond Manufacturing Index or some crap, 10 a.m. So I imagine a bit of a slow morning while we await the data. A more volatile, let's call it 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then probably quiets down as we await earnings. I think it's either Alphabet tomorrow or Meta or I don't know who it is. One of these guys. Anyway, hope that makes sense. Hope that helps. Have a great night. Trade safe.